Hi, this is Animator Scenes Part 2. This is going to be about rendering your image. And it's a sort of something that's going to happen over and over again, but it's worth spending a little bit of time figuring out. If we went over to the camera view for this right now and took a closer look at what we've set up in the scene, we got a background, we got the thing all posed, it looks great. This is still a work screen. It is not a proper render. So if you want to see what it's really going to look like, you go up to the render window and you go to render image. And sometimes you have to do it twice. There's another render up here, and we'll render the image again, it says. And this is where you can create a resolution. Now, this is a three-dimensional object, and you can create whatever resolution you want. The default is 400 by 300 with no anti-aliasing turned on. If you say OK, you get something that looks like this. It doesn't match the movie image that we set. We wanted to make something that was going to be 16 by 9. That is a high def aspect ratio. So I'm going to go back and just click image, and it gives me another chance at this. If I took it up to 1280 by 720, well, that is high def. I say OK, and it fills the screen. Looks a whole lot better. Fits the frame. You can actually go back and try it again. We're just clicking image to try messing around. If you wanted to make this 1920 by 1080, so it's 1080p, you can get that too. You just can't see the whole thing, and I don't think it's even going to let you scroll to see the entire piece. But you can make this thing poster size if you wanted to. It's just about computing power. Here's some other tricks with it. When you look at it, although it's really hard to see because it's pretty fine pixels on the screen, right now it's not in its very best quality, but it is rendering it very quickly. There's another trick in here that you can turn on anti-aliasing, and if you are setting this up for the final render, and you're all happy with everything, anti-aliasing is a good idea. Now what you'll notice is a red line going through here, and it's going to clean up all the edges by doing the most accurate job it can at representing what this graphic should look like. And it's the best possible image that you can get out of it at this point. And now once you've got the best possible image and it's looking the way you want it to, the natural thing to do right now is to save it. So I'm going to hit the save button. And when you save it, you first are given a choice where you want to save this thing to, and it makes sense to save it in your proper documents folder, the proper location. Give it a proper name, starting with your last name. Saucer pick flying. And you might even want to say this is the 1080p version, but that's up to you. And when you hit save, nothing is saved yet. Not until you've checked the other options. BMP or bitmap is the default. You probably want to change that to JPEG. It's a smaller, more compressed format. The default quality is, I think, 70 or 90 or something. I take it to 100. And the default mode here is RGBA, which includes an alpha channel. That's fancy for transparency. We don't need it. We'll just take it to RGB and keep the file size tidy. Say OK, and now it is actually saving the file. And to get out of this rendered screen, we've taken our snapshot, we hit close. And that's what there is to rendering. Be careful as you render when you choose it. If you're accidentally choosing the wrong quadrant and you hit render, here I'll do a real cheap version of it right now. Render image again. And I'll do a 400, well no, you know what, I'll do a 1280 by 720. Turn off anti-alias so it's a whole lot faster. It's about 1/10 the speed. But you'll notice it takes the picture that you ask for. If you ask it for a behind-the-scenes shot, that's just what you got there. So before you do the render, make sure you're on the right quadrant with the proper background. And that's where things are at with rendering.